Hello friends, today we will see how we can modify kernel parameters. So this comes in RHCSA exam many times. Here we are going to focus mainly on two kernel parameters. First vm.swappiness and second IPv4 forwarding. Others parameters change in the same way. So guys, in a RHCSA exam, they give to modify kernel parameters like VM swappiness to set the value to some value like 10 or 20, and they will ask you to disable like IPv4 forwarding to disable them, and whatever the changes you are done, it should persist after reboot. So these are these are type of the questions they ask and the tasks they give you on the RHCSA exam. So let's see how we can achieve this task. Before starting, let's first understand what is sysctl. So friends, sysctl is used to modify kernel parameters. Sysctl is used to modify kernel parameters at runtime. So we can change kernel parameters using sysctl. But remember, sysctl command is available to an administrator user only. So we can also check sysctl using am sysctl, and you can get it all information about the sysctl, that what the parameters you can use it here, its description and how it will be used. Okay, so let's go and see what all parameters we can change using sysctl. So you just type sysctl minus a for all. So you can see that these all parameters we can change through sysctl. So here VM virtual memory parameters is there, which you can change it. We can change it the in networking parameters or users, and these all parameters will be handled by the sysctl, and you can change anytime. So there are some commands available to change this, or kernel specific parameters if you like to change it, so that all you can change it. So sysctl is used to change these kernel parameters. So now we will see where all these parameters reside. These parameters you can find under proc. Let me clear this screen first. Okay, so let's go to this directory proc. The proc is kernel interface, and under this proc you can see that all is there. Then go to sys virtual file system, and here you can see that all this virtual memory, users, NAT, RPC, kernel, file system. So this is all where you can find the parameters and which you can change it. So our interest is into the swappiness right now. So that is in virtual memory. So let's go to the folder VM and ls. So in virtual memory like VM, we have all these parameters available with the name. So what we were looking for is the swappiness. See, the swappiness available here. Let's go inside it and check what's there. Get swappiness. Right, you can see that the default value of swappiness is set to 30. So right now I am using rel 8. In other system it can be like 30 or 60 or some other value. So what this 30 mean? It represents the percentage of free memory before activating swap. So when your physical RAM memory is used up to 70% and only 30% is remaining, then kernel it will activate swapping and use this swap space. So it means lower the swap value, the less swapping is used, and the more memory pages are kept in physical RAM memory. That's why if you keep swappiness value high, then your kernel will use it more and your system will be slow. So that is the reason a small value is recommended for server systems. For example, a smaller swappiness value is recommended for the database workloads, like for example Oracle database. So Red Hat recommends swappiness value 5 or 10 for this type of heavy loads servers. So guys, always remember, changing swappiness value directly influence the performance of your Linux system. So try to keep low, don't keep it high. So we can set this swappiness values between 0 to 100. 0 mean swap is disabled. Only physical memory, that is your RAM, will be used. And if you are setting it to 1%, mean minimum amount of swapping without disabling it entirely. Like in MariaDB database, you can use this option. 10% is recommended mostly in this that you will keep it as a 10% so that 10% your physical memory is remaining, then you can use this swapping. That will be the best option actually in other things. So low swappiness, if you are putting 100%, it means that on 100% availability it will use the swapping and your system will become low, very slow in that case. So low swappiness value means the kernel will try to avoid swapping as much as possible, where high value instead will make the kernel aggressively try to use swap space. You can also use to check what the swappiness value. This is the directly we have gone into the file, but you can check it through the command also, like sysctl vm dot swappiness. So here we can check it that vm.swappiness is set to 30. So this is the default. So how we can change this value? We can set this value through sysctl only. Ctl w vm.swappiness equal to, like if we want to set it up to 20, so it will set to 20, but this will get the value at runtime or the current session. On remote reboot it will not persist, so when you will reboot it, it will come again to the 30. So see, we have changed it. Now just check it again, sys swappiness. So you can check that this is 20 has been set, but this is for the current session only, it's not for the persistence. You can also set through echo command also, like echo, let's make it 20, and writing directly to the file. What's the file address? That is proc.sys.vm.swappiness. So we can directly writing to the parameter file, system file there. So now check it. Sysctl vm.swappiness. So you can see that it's a 10 now. But if we will reboot it, then it will again change into the 30, what is default. So for in RHCSA exam, you have to set it the value so that after reboot also it will remain the same, it will persist. So for that, what you have to do it, you have to set this value into sysctl configuration file. So let's go into that folder, cd etc. So if you will see, I have just put it like this only so that you can see the what folders is available. You can say we have sysctl.d file folder. So in this folder also you can create a new file. So you have option that also. So you can go into this folder and create a new file. Any name you can give it, and it will take the parameters there. I will just let you know that how we can add the parameters there. Or the other option is that instead of that, you can just go into and you will sysctl configuration file. You can update this file. So you can insert any parameters which we have shown earlier, and you can set the value here. So here also you can see that they have given you that either you can change it here or you can create a file under the .d file folder. So let's insert here. So what we have to write the full parameter name, swappiness equal to, now keep it 15 because 10 we already tried it, right? That is current one. So vm.swappiness.15. So friends, always remember the name of this parameter should be exactly the same. Caps and everything should be same. If there will be any changes in the whether it's in a caps you have put it or any spelling mistakes you have done it, then it will not detect these parameters and it will remain the same. So be careful when writing this. You can copy paste from that from the path or somewhere. It will be better that you will have the exact name here. So let's save this file. Q and check it again. CTL and vm.swappiness. So you can see that we have changed in this configuration file, but still the value is coming as a 10. The reason is because there we have set it 15, but it's not reflecting here. The reason is that change will be reflected on reboot. So let's reboot this system. So currently I am remotely accessing it. It will take time to get it back. So let's reboot this system again. So guys, we are back again after rebooting. Let's log in with root. It's already been logging. So clear it. Now check it. What is the value exist now after rebooting? Dot swappiness. Well, so you can see that now the system has set it value to 15 after reboot. So it is persist. So every time it will reboot, it will remain as a 15 here. So this is how you can persist the swappiness value and how you can change it. So this is the task in RHCSA they give to you for the swappiness. Sometimes they can give you the parameters for the networking like IP forwarding. They will ask you to disable the IP forwarding. So what is IP forwarding actually? The IP forwarding allows an operating system to forward packets as a router does, or more generally to route them through other networks. So that is a security risk involved in this one, where your Linux server will work as a router, and any traffic coming to the Linux, it will forward it to some other network. So it can be a risk. So mostly admins keep it disabled for the security reason. They make it always disable it. So let's check that also, that how we can change it and what's the value right now. So as I told you before, sysctl, this is the only way from where we can get it. Just check it the -a and grab it. What's the network? We got it. Net. Check the net one. So these are all parameters of network we can change, right? So there are lots of parameters for IP4, IPv6, but what we are looking for is the forwarding. So let's grab it again with the forwarding. Forwarding. So here forwarding is many are there. IPv4 are there. So but we are looking for IP forwarding. So let's get that one. Again, what I will ask IP forwarding. Let's clear it again. Clear. That's sysctl minus a grep, then IP forwarding. There is no, let's forward only. Yes. So here you can see that we have the option here already, that is net.ipv4.ip forwarding, and it is set to 1. So 1 mean enabled, actually by default it is enabled, and 0 mean disabled. So by default when you install this Linux system, so it set it as a 1 only, but as a security task we have to disable it. So what we will have, we have to set it into 0. So you can do the same as we have done it with the swappiness. Let's copy this, actually that will be much easier, so that we don't have the, so now we can change it. Sysctl equal to 0. So we have set it into 0 now. That mean we have disabled it, but that will be, as I told you, in vm.swappiness, it will be for the current session only. It will not persist. So after reboot it will again set it to the 1. So that's, we do not want it, and that was not the task. We have to persist it. So let's do that only. Let's go again to that file in which we have changed it. Vi etc sysctl dot configuration file. So here we can add one more parameters, kernel parameters, and set it to, so now we have already copied so that there will be no any spelling mistake, and set it to 0. So save this file now. So check it again to get the value. It is set to 0 now. So guys, this is how we can set it the values for the kernel parameters, and how we can persist it. I hope you would have liked this video. So if you like, subscribe for my channel, so that you can regularly get the new videos on this one, and you can get in RHCSA I'm going to cover the whole courses, so you can receive the other videos with it. Thank you very much for watching my videos.